Improvement Bill here. Some of you probably already know that I used to run a sales office back in the day. It was a position that I worked my butt off obtaining, and I really thought once I got to manage my own office that my workload would decrease, that I would be making way more money, and that I would be happier. But I was dead wrong. Because after being handed the office, I found myself putting in almost 100 hours of work every single week, a significant increase from the 80 hours I was used to beforehand, which was already quite a lot. And it was this intense workload that caused me to wake up one day in bed with the decision to just not show up. Instead, I decided to turn off all the notifications on my phone and go back to sleep. I'm not proud of it at all, but that's essentially how I quit, by getting burnt out and giving up. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, I suffered from an intense lack of motivation. I had already come across the idea of building passive income streams online a couple of months prior and decided that that was what I wanted. But for some reason, I just couldn't motivate myself to get out of bed and actually start working on building the business. I went from being a guy who had the work ethic of a machine to a guy who could barely get himself to shower, let alone put in the hours needed to build an online business. I desperately needed to figure out a way to motivate myself to do things and take action again. So here's what I decided to do. I decided to stick to a part of my old morning routine. It was a simple routine. Wake up, shower, shave, put on my suit, grab my bag, and walk out the front door. The only difference was that instead of heading to my old office, I decided to walk to the local Starbucks and work there instead. And by simply doing this one thing, I suddenly found myself motivated to work again. Whenever I was all washed up and looking sharp with my suit on, I was filled with motivation, and I was able to spend a good 5 to 6 hours working in that Starbucks. I did this every single day, and by the end of the year, I had built a passive income stream making a little over $1,000 a month. What I had accidentally stumbled on here is what I like to call the Showtime Trick. See, there are certain things you can do, certain routines or outfits you can put on that will essentially trick you into entering a certain state of mind. Almost like an actor putting on a costume before getting ready to perform in front of the camera, or an athlete doing a special ritual before their game. For example, LeBron James will throw some chalk dust up in the air before playing ball. Usain Bolt will spend time talking to someone about things he likes, like cars and music, before each race. And Michael Jordan always wore his old University of North Carolina shorts underneath his Bulls uniform during his games. All of these unique rituals are essentially ways for us to trick our mind into putting our game face on. It's a way for us to tell our brain and body, hey, it's showtime. It's time for us to act a certain way and give it your all. Now I know some of you are probably thinking, well, Improvement Bill, that's nice and all, but I don't have a weird ritual or outfit that I can wear that will get me to act or feel a certain way. This Showtime trick of yours doesn't apply to me. Well, the thing is, none of us are born with these rituals. Each and every single one of those athletes we just talked about developed their own ritual over time. You have to build an association in your mind, almost like how you would build a habit. Which, quick little side note, if you haven't already heard, my habit building program has been a huge success so far. We're going to relaunch the program pretty soon. If you want to join the mailing list to get updates on that, all you have to do is click on the link in the description box below. Back to the topic at hand. Like I said, obtaining a ritual for the Showtime trick can actually be very simple. All you need to do is purposely go out of your way to create a new ritual and make sure that you do something special immediately after the first 3 times. Let me give you an example. Back when I first started going on dates, I would get extremely nervous. So I created a ritual in order to calm my nerves down. I would meditate and try to be as present as possible during the entire 30 to 45 minute train or bus ride to the date spot. And when I finally got to my stop, I would go out of my way to have 3 short but fun interactions with some strangers around me. For example, sometimes I would crack a joke with the bus driver, give a high five to a random person, or give a compliment to someone walking down the street. Something like, hey, nice jacket. This helped me out a lot because I knew that talking to strangers made me less nervous, and also since these interactions were almost always positive, I would be in a good mood before the date even started. Then, after the ritual was over, I made sure that I was as fun and present as possible during the date itself. And after doing this just 3 times, it became a ritual that I would do before every first date. I started feeling less and less nervous each time because I knew this ritual of mine would trick me into being more fun and present. Here's another example. I only recently started going to big networking events a couple of years back, and I did feel a bit nervous because I was going to be in a room where almost everyone else was far more successful than I was. It was intimidating to say the least. So I created a little ritual that I still stick to this day. I washed up and I suited up an hour before the event started, and then I blasted music in my hotel room while dancing in front of the mirror. I did this for about 30 minutes, and then I made sure to go down to the event and talk to as many people as possible. I think the first time I went to one of these networking events, I must have spoken to at least 100 different people over the course of the 3 days I was there. After doing this ritual 2 more times at other networking events, it's now become an easy way for me to trick myself into being more talkative and outgoing. If you want to trick yourself into doing things, all you have to do is create a ritual. Make sure that you step outside of your comfort zone and try harder than normal your first 3 times, and just like that, you will be able to enter Showtime whenever you want. This episode is sponsored by Harry's. A large percentage of the rituals I have involve looking sharp, which includes getting a clean shave. If you've ever felt frustrated having to go out every couple of weeks just to buy overpriced, low-quality blades that only end up irritating your skin, then Harry's is for you. They sent me their starter set, which includes a weighted handle with a nice rubber grip, a 5-blade razor cartridge, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades when you're on the move. What I like most about their blades is the fact that they make their own blades in Germany and the fact that refills start at only $2. I really love how easy it is to shave around the hard-to-reach spots on my face without ever getting cut. There's nothing like getting a close and comfortable shave every time. Go to www.harrys.com/improvement to redeem your trial set for just $3. You'll get everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, and you'll be supporting my channel as well. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.